Shocking news no one could have predicted. Elon Musk is trying to pull out of buying Twitter. He was so dead set on it. Not only because he could run it much better since he's a modern genius, but also because someone needed to look out for the free speech rights of so many downtrodden conservatives. And he really wanted to buy it for months. And then unfortunately he was forced to try to back out of the deal. Why? Well, in a filing earlier today, his team claimed that he was backing out of the deal because Twitter was in material breach of the agreement they signed with Elon Musk and had made false and misleading statements during negotiations. What is that about? Well, an excerpt from his filing with the SEC says that Twitter has not provided information that Mr. Musk has requested for nearly 2 months, notwithstanding his repeated detailed clarifications intended to simplify Twitter's identification, collection, and disclosure of the most relevant information sought in his original request, the so-called bot problem. How many fake accounts are there on Twitter? And of course, he's being honest. When he says he needs to do this because they won't provide information, he's not just weaseling out of this. He's not constantly asking for more and more information no matter what they do. They just won't provide it. And of course, as a modern genius, there's no way he could have suspected that maybe there were some fraudulent accounts before he signed an agreement, a legal binding document to buy this company. It only occurred to this modern day Einstein to look into this after it started to affect the stock price and the stock price of Tesla, and it started to look like a bad deal. Only then did it occur to him. And so look, if you can't tell, I'm being sarcastic because everybody has seen this. We knew that he was gonna try to back out of it. I'm gonna jump ahead just a little bit. And I swear I did not ask for them to pull this, but they did, so I'm gonna use it. I tweeted back on May 25th, good Lord, Elon Musk, stop being a weenie. Just admit you wanna pull out of the deal and we can all move on as a society. He could have saved us a lot of time. He could have done this a couple of months ago. Cenk tweeted, since Twitter, this is back on May 17th, actually, earlier than mine. Since Twitter isn't worth anywhere near 44 billion, Elon Musk is either going to massively and hilariously disappoint the right wing by backing out of this deal, or eat a huge loss that might be in the tens of billions. Oops, hashtag Schadenfreude. And of course, he could end up having to pay a bunch of money. First of all, he can't just leave. They might take him to court, which might cost him a ton of money. Even if he successfully gets them to allow him to leave, he'll have to pay $1 billion. But of course, he has over $200 billion. It's not real money, it's just a number somebody typed into a computer. It doesn't mean anything, so he's not really losing anything. And one last point. Elon Musk would have you believe, he would have his unthinking followers who have never even seen critical thought, let alone exercised it, that you sign legal documents pledging tens of billions of dollars to buy a company and only then begin the process of due diligence into whether that makes sense to do. That is not how that works. I'm not a businessman, but I've read enough of what they say that that's what you do before you sign the deal. This is a cover story, it's not true. He's not actually worried about bots. But even if we accepted the cover story, even if this was true, this shows that he should not be anywhere near the reins of power of any corporation because he's not qualified to be so.
So good news, I am a businessman. So I can tell you with great certainty that yes, you do due diligence before you sign a contract, let alone a contract worth $44 billion. To not do due diligence on a contract of that size is as negligent as I have ever seen in business.
It's Trumpian.
So he could have put a provision in the contract about bots. He didn't. The bots didn't occur to you. Later, afterwards, after he signed the contract, he then says, oh, Twitter might have a bot problem. That's like saying Vegas might have a gambling problem. Yes, Twitter, you didn't know Twitter has bots, that it might be over 5%. And you didn't protect yourself against that. No. So we knew the handwriting was on the wall because we saw Tesla stock, we saw his sweaty cold panic. It was obvious that he didn't know what he was doing and he bungled it. So I know that in the right-wing ideology, the richer you are, the more merit you have, the smarter you are. Paris Hilton is very, very wealthy. So I don't know that she merited it. Now Elon Musk is different, right? And he did build some businesses, kind of. And yet he does have all that money. But it doesn't mean that you are the person who is the smartest and have the most merit and know what you're doing in every regard. He clearly didn't know what he was doing here. In fact, if I was him, I would be mortified, totally embarrassed at how dumb this makes you look. And then finally, My favorite part of this is what I alluded to in that tweet from that while back. Now the right wing has no daddy to cry to. Oh, I love that. Schadenfreude. It tastes so good. Because every tweet ended with like, oh, Jordan Peters has been kicked off of Twitter. Elon Musk, please help us, Elon. Oh my God, oh, I called someone terrible words and I threatened violence against them. Help me, Elon, help me, Elon. I said everybody was lizard people and they were gonna attack you. Help me, Elon, help me, Elon. Well, there's no Calgon to take you away here, and that's an old school reference. There's no Elon to take you away. No, he was a fraud, and now he's gonna go to court for sure. They're gonna sue him, and he's probably gonna owe Twitter $1 billion. That's the penalty in the contract for backing out.
I remember back when Elon said, oh, okay, I can cure world hunger with all of the money I have. Give me a plan. Give me a plan, where to put the money, what to do. They gave him a plan, and he just didn't do it. And all of the Elon stands on Twitter were like, well, all of his money is not liquid, so he can't spend this money, right? It's all in stocks. How did he back this deal? With Tesla stock. He took out a loan. It was financed, and Tesla stock started tanking. He's in a lot of legal trouble right now also because he inflated the price of Dogecoin by using his social media presence to get a bunch of people to invest in cryptocurrency. He's in a lot of legal and financial trouble, but of course there's still going to be people making excuses and saying he's a genius. And it's very clear that he just did this as a publicity stunt. He seriously did this because he wanted attention. He wanted to keep his name in the newspapers. He's honestly got such an attention problem. This was never about actually wanting to buy Twitter. This was about wanting to be the biggest account on Twitter. And of course, he's using this excuse that there's bots to pull out. It's going to go, to trial probably. Or they're going to settle, and it's just going to give him more attention that he does not deserve.
Okay, I'm gonna add one last thing. That Dogecoin point. Look, I don't know the details of what happened there, but if he used his influence with right-wing followers to manipulate the Dogecoin, and he made tons and tons of money off of that, then he's exactly like Donald Trump because he targets his own fans. They're the easiest to rip off. So Donald Trump ripped off his own supporters to the tune of what, $250 million after the elections? So, oh yeah, I'm gonna spend it on a legal defense to protect democracy. He never spent it on legal defense, never, none of it, okay? And he's just been stuffing it into his hotels and his apartment buildings, etc. Saying, oh yeah, my legal defense is at Trump Tower and I had to shovel all of your money there, right? And Elon's like, oh yeah, Elon stands. We have to fight the power. Go inflate the stock of the price of that thing. According to the charges, we'll see if that, if they can prove it. And then they all rush in and he's like, oh good, I have a bunch of right-wing suckers here that I can manipulate until the cows come home. And the funny thing is, after I rip them off, they'll defend me the most.
They will.
Yeah, that's why every con man immediately takes a beeline to the right wing and thinks they're the easiest marks in the country.
They love it.